Having a great weekend. We are Father Son Galaxy.
Sunday.
We are Father Son Galaxy. I am Kerwin. This is Keith. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're new to the channel, thank you for being here. Please like and subscribe to this episode if you enjoyed your time here. For those who've been here before, welcome back. Thank you. So we have been, if you've not been following, we want to start off by talking about the strike, acknowledging that it is still ongoing, the Writers Guild and the Screen Actors Guild, and we just want to let you know that we provide full support to the writers and the actors. We hope that they come to some type of resolution very soon. They work very hard. This channel would not exist without the writers and the actors. So once again, just want to acknowledge that we do stand behind the writers and the actors getting what they deserve. So thank you so much once again. All right. So now we'll continue with our Ahsoka Mania, Ahsoka Mania, right? So, the new series is coming on August 23rd.
Ahsoka, or Ahsoka August.
Yeah,
like
so
March Madness.
It's not that far away. So what we've been doing is just talking about Ahsoka after the Clone Wars. What has she been up to? Last week we talked about her in a novel by E.K. Johnston. We ended by talking about her role in the rebellion. She is now Fulcrum. That is her code name that she's using. And she is taking that code name into Star Wars Rebels. All right. So that's where we're going to pick up. So we're going to talk about her arc in Rebels, right? Well, up until a point. We'll pick up a little bit later, but let's start talking about Ahsoka in Rebels. All right. So we know that she is Fulcrum. And the idea of Fulcrum, right? The mission for Ahsoka's Fulcrum is to provide intelligence to those rebel cells that are out there, right? To provide information that's on a need to know basis to help them find supplies, materials that the rebellion can use against the Empire. And so they've chosen a rebel cell called, well, they're the Ghost Team. All right. So if you are familiar with Rebels, that's Hera, we've got Zeb, Kanan, Ezra, and Sabine. All right. So Fulcrum is working with the Ghost crew. Only Hera, as far as I understand, knows who Fulcrum is. All right. So she's getting her information from Fulcrum, what planets to go, where the missions are located. And in turn, the Ghost crew is making profit off of what they're doing for the rebellion, right? It's for a bigger cause, but they're still getting something out of it personally.
Money.
That's right. Credits, right. And at this point, again, Hera is the only one who really knows who Fulcrum is.
I wonder why she didn't think it important to tell him.
Well, it's on a need-to-know basis. They wanted to keep the identity of Fulcrum.
It's a need-to-know basis, and apparently we didn't need to know.
Right. And that's how Sabine feels. So she wants to know who this Fulcrum is, and she's getting frustrated not knowing, and Hera's not telling everything. And Hera says, look, it's better that you know very little about what's going on, right? So
yeah. People invented the fun excuse of, if you ever get interrogated, now you can say you honestly don't know.
Well, that's true, right? Yeah, I hope they don't say it in that voice, but yeah.
You could say the same thing even if you did know, you would anyway.
Yeah, no.
If you ever get into, that's a funny YouTube skit idea. An interrogation, but the person being interrogated complies willingly.
Okay. All right. So now
I'm gonna write a script for that.
Okay, you got it. All right. So that's Fulcrum, right? So that's one of the missions for this Ghost crew. Now, something else is going on at the same time, right? We have Inquisitors. Okay. All right. And if you go back and you take a listen or a look at our video from last year about the rise and fall of the Inquisitors, you'll know, we spell it out as to who they are, how they got started, their role, their rise and the fall. So if you recall, at this time, this is right after, so this is about 14 years after the Clone Wars, Order 66.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Vader, is, He's this Dark Lord of the Sith. Anakin has become Vader. And then Charles Soule has an excellent comic book series that takes place right after Order 66, right?
The original Vader comic.
Right. And, he talks about Vader's run or rise in the Empire, right? So one of the first roles that he's given as Dark Lord, he's worked for the Emperor, is to take charge of this group called the Inquisitors.
But he also hates them. He cut one of their arms off.
Yeah, they don't always get along.
Vader just genuinely hates them.
Right.
He made two of them bye-bye each other.
Yes, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yes, yeah. Some of them have lost their lives.
He was crazy.
Yeah.
You know what? One more thing. Fallen Order. I feel like that's all I need to say.
Okay. You could say more because I don't know.
There sure were a lot of Inquisitors falling in order.
That's true. That's true.
There were a lot of Inquisitors falling in order.
Okay.
In Jedi Fallen.
Got it. All right. Okay. So one Inquisitor in particular is given the title Grand Inquisitor. All right. Now, if you recall, in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series from last year, we had the Grand Inquisitor
with a
live action.
Head.
All right. We're not going to talk about the head. All right. So we're going to talk about the Grand Inquisitor. So he's prominent in season 1 of Rebels. And he is tasked to find any Jedi that might have survived Order 66. All right. The Governor Tarkin is at a point where he feels that these rebels are causing havoc to the Empire, and he wants to put a stop to them. So he
wants them gone.
Right. So he gets the Grand Inquisitor.
Gone 2 days ago.
Right. He gets the Grand Inquisitor to look after him. How well did the Inquisitor do?
Not well.
Not that well. All right. So here are the things.
Was, underwhelming at best.
Right. So here are the things that cause trouble, how the rebels, in particular the Ghost Crew, caused trouble for the Empire. One, on Lothal, that's where Ezra is from. Ezra sends a message via the Empire Communications Tower, right, to let the people of Lothal know that the Empire is up to no good. They preach their own. The Empire preaches their own propaganda and think they're the best thing in the galaxy. That you need to have this empire. Well, Ezra says no. That they're taking over our planet. There's oppression. People don't have a voice, so he's letting the people know that the Empire is no good, right? When Tarkin heard about this and heard the communications, he ordered that the tower gets shut down and collapsed, destroyed. And then he says, okay, well, all right, Grand Inquisitor, let's do your thing. So what happens, the Grand Inquisitor does get close and he finds Kanan Jarrus, right? All right, he captures Kanan. He's holding Kanan as prisoner.
Speaking of Kanan, fun fact: did you know that the Lego version of Kanan originally had black hair before they changed it to brown to be more accurate?
Now, where was the black hair? In the series or somewhere in the comic books? You mean?
In Lego.
Oh, okay.
I said that.
Okay, I missed that part.
Yeah.
In Lego. Okay.
So yeah, in Lego there was a Comic-Con 2015 exclusive, or 2014, I don't know. It was an exclusive where Kanan had black hair, and that hairpiece was never made again for Kanan.
Did he have the ponytail?
Yeah, he had the ponytail.
God, still had the ponytail.
Okay. He always has the ponytail. Even when he has the mask, he has the ponytail.
Gotcha.
Can't forget the ponytail.
All right. So continuing on, Kanan is captured by the Grand Inquisitor, and he's being tortured by the Empire. The Ghost Crew is at a crossroads. They don't know what to do because they could, absolutely want to go and rescue one of their own crew members. But what Fulcrum suggests is that you not save them, because if you do, it's going to put the rebellion at risk. The rebellion is working under close secrecy. And if, they were to go after Kanan, they could risk exposing the rebellion.
Oh, well, that's too bad, because they go save them anyway.
Exactly. And so Hera is telling her people, she's telling Ezra and Sabine and Zeb, don't do anything. Don't save Kanan. It's not the right time. But of course, like any
funny
good family member would do, Yeah, well, go ahead. Yeah, you're going to make a good point about Hera. Okay, so let's move on to season 2. All right, so now we are talking about Vader, right? Vader returns to pick up where the Grand Inquisitor left off.
And
All right,
be even more ruthless than the Grand Inquisitor was before.
Well, so we'll find out. So the Ghost Crew, they return to Lothal. All right, they help an informant escape. All right, let's talk about who this informant is. All right, Minister Tua worked for. You want to talk about her? Or you?
So basically, in the first season, she was working with the Empire, and she kind of got tired of it, and she was terrified of Vader and Tarkin. So she's like, "Get me off Lothal, and I can give you some information to other rebel cells that you can join up with." That didn't go well because that entire shuttle got bombed. I find it very plot convenient that they somehow managed to not bring the Ghost on that mission.
Right. All right. Okay. So Minister Tua is fearing for her life because now we see, when things are going bad, um, is when Tarkin shows up in person
Yep.
to manage what's going on. He gets off his Star Destroyer, he gets away from his desk, and he is on location. So if you see him in person, there's a problem.
If he even gives you a hologram, you know you're in trouble.
Well, sometimes a hologram is okay, but when he says, "You know what, I'm going to go take care of this myself,"
shows up in person, be scared.
Yeah, the heads are going to roll.
Be afraid. Be very
literally.
Heads are going to roll across the floor.
Yeah. So she watched in horror two Inquisitors take out. Well, she watched in horror as a Grand Inquisitor takes out two of the Imperial officers, and now she's afraid for her life. So the officers. I don't have the names of the officers.
Yeah, I remember. I forgot their names.
Yeah, that's all right. That's fine. That's fine. All right.
Is this season 2 or season 1?
This is season 2. We're in season 2 now.
Grand Inquisitor's dead.
Okay. All right. I apologize. That's right. It's not the Grand Inquisitor,
fine.
right? Yes. Okay.
It's just an Inquisitor. I do not remember. It might have been the fifth brother.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So there's the fifth brother and the seventh sister. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So Mr. Tua leaves the Empire. She wants to help the rebellion. And like you said, she doesn't get far. The Imperial shuttle that she's supposed to get on is actually rigged with an explosion. And then, she gets on and she's gone. And then, yeah, what was keen about the Empire is that they decided that, okay, well, they can blame the rebels, the rebellion for causing her death. All right. So he had
scapegoats.
Yeah,
the best political trick.
He put out an all points bulletin looking for these rebels. They're the ones who caused the death of this minister of the Empire. All right, so that's what's happening there. Vader locks down Lothal so no one could leave. He also encounters Ezra and Kanan face to face.
Oh, and they fight, but there's just no way that either of them can compete with Lord Vader.
Right, exactly. And then they are Ezra. If you saw the look on Ezra's face
when he utterly terrified.
Yes, when he sees Vader for the first time, he is terrified.
Like whoever animated this is literally the best animator in the world.
Yeah, right. And then, but they escape. Kanan and Ezra, they get back on the Ghost Crew, and Ezra wants to know, well, who was that? Was that an Inquisitor? And then Kanan says, no, something far worse. Something far worse. And that was not the last time we saw Vader. Vader came back in his TIE fighter, and he personally went after the Rebel fleet, just him against the Rebel fleet, and he was winning.
I am utterly shocked that the Rebel fleet failed that badly.
Yeah.
Man.
Well,
is Darth Vader, and he's the most menacing person in the galaxy, but there's one of him. Exactly. There is one of him.
Right. So Kanan goes back to Ahsoka and tells her about this person. He's very strong in the Force. We don't know who this person is, can we maybe try to do like a force connect to see maybe we can,
that's a podcast.
Maybe we can, right, we can connect with this person, that's strong in the force and find out who this person is. And they do that, they, put their minds together and they reach out in the force. And then Ahsoka makes a connection with Vader. And Vader senses that his apprentice lives.
Yeah.
He says not his apprentice, but Anakin Skywalker's apprentice lives.
See, here's something I'm just thinking of. If Ahsoka was so stunned to realize that Vader was Anakin, then what was that in Tales of the Jedi when Bail was like, there was nothing you could have done for either of them?
Well, right.
Like,
We
does she
brought that
think
up last
he's
week.
dead or something? She might think he's dead. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I know we talked about that.
Order 66 was like, blah, so
yeah,
she probably thinks he's dead.
Okay. So, and then when Ahsoka sensed who this person might be, I don't think she knows for sure. It could be her master. She's not. She's just. She was scared herself. She just gave out this scream and she passed out. Right. So, and then when Kanan asks, well, do you know who this person is? And she says, no, she's keeping it to herself because she doesn't want to jump to any conclusions as to who this might be. So now Vader goes back to the Emperor, tells the Emperor that Anakin Skywalker's apprentice survived. And the Emperor tells him that you need to see if she can lead you to other lost Jedi. Okay. And so let's see if anybody else out there is alive. So then he tells Vader to dispatch another Inquisitor to hunt them down. Okay. And that takes us into the seventh sister and the fifth brother. Okay. Right. So now we have more Inquisitors are coming. And in our live stream from last year, we talked about the Inquisitors. We also talked about seventh sister and fifth brother. Please check that out if you haven't already. So now what they try to do is they're finding ways to try to smoke out or to lure these Jedi that's out there.
Yeah, right? Kind of like that shot in Indiana Jones that shot literally when Voller's henchmen fired up into the air and everybody ducked except Indy because he's used to that.
Well, right. He knew that, the Voller was coming after him. But one of the things that they know about Jedi is that, they're very passionate about people, right? They find that, they're
especially children.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Their passion for people or their love for other people is their weakness. So what they decide to do is to start kidnapping Force-sensitive children. All right, which is not out of the ordinary for the Emperor. If you know the Emperor story about how he kidnapped Maul as a very young child, right? What? From okay, you don't know that story, so I'll leave that out there.
No, tell me.
Okay, no, in the story about Maul, Dathomir.
Yes, son of Dathomir.
The son of Dathomir, right? Maul actually kidnapped Emperor Palpatine, kidnapped and took him under his wing and groomed him to become a Sith at some point. Yeah.
Palpatine kidnapped a child and groomed him to become a Sith?
That's correct, yes. Okay. Am I wrong?
I did know that those tattoos were not there originally, though. I'm pretty sure Palpatine burned them on.
I don't know about the tattoos, right? But okay, yeah, all right. I that's how I remember the story. I could be wrong, but yes.
I don't remember that. I've read that multiple times, but I haven't read it in like the past year or so.
Okay. I don't know if it was exactly in that book, but that's what happened. That's how Palpatine came to know Paul, right? As a young boy. Okay. Anyway, let's go on. All right. So now we've got two more Inquisitors. Kanan and Ezra need to find out, okay, well, how do we defeat these Inquisitors? They have no idea what to do. So Ahsoka, Ezra, and Kanan decide to seek help from a Jedi temple on Lothal. So they go to the temple, and the three of them actually are involved in three different personal journeys when they get there.
Yeah. It's like your TikTok feed. Each one's personalized to you.
Yes, right.
Sort of.
All right, so then we have Kanan, who is fighting with the Knights of the Jedi Order, right? It's a valiant fight. If we know about Kanan, Kanan is not officially a Jedi Knight because he lost his master at a very young age, and then
we actually saw that in the Bad Batch. Not him losing his master, but him with his master.
Right, yeah. So he, valiantly left, had to fight with the Jedi, the Knights of the Jedi, and was actually successful with fighting them, and he was then knighted. He became a Jedi Knight. Okay, so that was his journey. So he is now officially a Jedi Knight. Ahsoka.
By the way, one of those knights was it was the Grand Inquisitor.
It looked like the Grand Inquisitor. Like it was not the Grand Inquisitor actually, but the species. I don't remember the name of the species. There's a species.
Talon.
Yeah. I think it was just someone from the same species.
I'm pretty sure it was the Grand Inquisitor.
Okay, all right. They never made that clear. I don't know.
Yeah, they really messed with us.
No, that's fine. Ahsoka is in a temple and she is meditating. She hears Anakin's voice, and Anakin is very angry with her, and he's saying to her, "Why did you leave me when I needed you most, Ahsoka? Why did you leave me?" She's getting that, and then Ezra get some advice from
Yoda.
Master Yoda. All right.
I love how like Kanan's in a battle, in a physical battle, and Ahsoka's in a battle of the mind, and Ezra's just chatting with Yoda and having a cup of coffee. Like,
well, Yoda didn't really have a lot to say, but he did say something that was very important. He said Malachor. What does Malachor mean? We have no idea.
We don't know. All right. We do not. Next episode, what that is for.
Yeah. But in the meantime, third sister and fifth brother are now at the temple. They're causing havoc. They're starting to, they're using the force to uh, crumble the temple with the three of them in it. But they did get out okay, unscathed, so they're fine. And we move on to Malachor. All right. Let's move on to Malachor. All right. So now we're at the Sith Temple. Do we have Q&A? Okay. Before we get to Malachor, let's get some Q&A. All right, Alex, hello. How are you? Always good to see you. Thank you. It's always great to talk to you. So I love the scene where she easily beats the two Inquisitors and save Ezra and Kanan from them while they rescue a baby. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, you're right. That was very decent. That was a time when the Inquisitors were stealing these force sensitive children, and there was a battle with
these evil people stealing children as a go-to.
Well, of course, that's what they're there for, right? Jedi hunters. So they're looking for the next generation to try to wipe them out. That's evil, isn't it?
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, well, that's what being an Inquisitor is all about, right? That's why they're called Jedi hunters. Even though they're not Jedi hunters, but they're force sensitive, they could at some point become Jedi, right? So if you want to eliminate the Jedi and their offspring, that's exactly what you do. You go to the next generation.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's not
Alex.
It's not a happy story, but
Always great to see you both too.
Thank you so much, Alex. Thank you. All right. So now Malachor. Okay. So we're going to this. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, Alex.
Go ahead, Alex. Okay. So Kanan was a kid who the Bad Batch initially chased, but Hunter let him go. Yes, exactly. That was Kanan. Yeah, that was Order 66, and Depa Billaba was his master, who was taken down by the clones. He was running through that snow planet. That was, the animation.
That was not Hoth?
No, it was not Hoth. Running through the snow planet, and he did escape. Hunter did allow him to escape. Crosshair was after him, and well, man, I mean, after that, Crosshair was not happy with Hunter.
I hope the Bad Batch and Kanan meet again.
Right. And then at the time, he wasn't called Kanan, right?
He was Caleb Doom.
He was Caleb Doom, right? He changed his name to.
So he went from Caleb to Kanan.
Yes, exactly.
Like, that's like your name being Shang-Chi, but you change it to Sean.
Yeah, why not? Nothing wrong with that. Okay. All right. If there's no Q&A, we're going to move on. Okay. To the Sith Temple. All right. There was a quote from To defeat your enemy, you have to understand them. All right. I believe that was Maul who wrote the quote, who said that quote. So we go to this temple in Malachor. Again, this is a Sith temple. Okay. What we find there, we find Eighth Brother, another Inquisitor, waiting for Kanan and Maul and Ezra and Ahsoka. Um, and then Maul pretends to be this person who's trying to find knowledge, right? Knowledge about the Sith. He doesn't reveal himself at first. And poor Ezra is he's so naive and he's the most vulnerable. So Maul goes after Ezra and tries to get Ezra to help him open these doors to get through to the Sith holocron, right? So they actually find the holocron and they get the Sith. They find the keys that open many doors to the temple. Meanwhile, Seventh Sister and Fifth Brother, they arrive and they fight alongside the Eighth Brother, against Kanan and Ahsoka. Maul, if you know Maul's story, at this time, he's no longer a Sith.
He's deranged.
Right.
He's old.
Yeah.
He's dull.
He's no longer Darth, right? Because we know what happened to him in the Phantom Menace, and he's been replaced by Darth Vader. So that's how it is, And now he wants revenge. He wants revenge on the Emperor, and so he is there to, according to Maul, he wants to take down the Empire. Okay, all right. He wants to help defeat Darth Vader. The Inquisitors want the holocron because the holocron is filled with a lot of Sith secrets. All right. So turns out this was a epic battle. Multiple battles going on. Right. So Maul easily wipes out Fifth Brother, Seventh Sister. They're gone. Eighth Brother. Eighth Brother, Kanan actually took his blade and slashed the hilt of Eighth Brother's lightsaber. Yeah. So you know how the Eighth Brother, he uses the hilt to spin.
He's spinning.
Yeah, like like Mary Poppins. Like he's got his.
Here's the funny part: he's not the Torellian Django jumper. Yeah, that's the Fifth Brother.
That's true, right? Yeah. So he takes his hilt and tries to spin it around and trying to get him to the other side of the temple, but it breaks apart as he's in flight and he falls.
That is such a bozo move.
I know, it just looks ridiculous.
And like, imagine you like, this lightsaber's cracked, but maybe I can fly with it. Ah!
Yeah, I don't even know what happened.
Break the microphone so you do it like, ah!
Okay, all right, let's go to Q&A. Who do we have? Ezra is naive, but shouldn't he have sensed something evil when Maul came in? Good point.
Yeah, because Ahsoka, Kanan, and Ezra did it with Vader. I feel like Maul is a little less evil, but still he's evil.
And you know what? The interesting thing is when Ezra introduced Maul to Kanan and Ahsoka, of course we know Ahsoka has history with Maul. Ezra is like, hey, this is Maul, my friend Maul. This is Ezra and Ahsoka. I mean, this is Kanan and Ahsoka. And they're looking at him like, do you know who this guy is?
And they're just looking at him like,
what are you doing? And, Maul's like, hey, like the kid's with me, we'll be fine. We're all working together. We all
that reassuring voice, like, hey,
yes, exactly. We want the same thing. We want to get rid of the Empire. No, that's not exactly what they want. They don't want the same thing.
We're trying to get rid of the Empire. Yeah. The kid's with me.
Yeah, that's not really true. All right. So let's continue with Q&A. We have Eric. Thank you, Eric, for joining us. Ahsoka versus Vader is one of the best Star Wars scenes, period. Yes, we're going to get to that. It's one for the ages. Yeah, love that battle. Dallas, thank you so much. Hello, guys. Thank you for joining us on this Sunday. Wonderful. All right, so let's move on. So now, like I said, Maul takes out two of the Inquisitors. The third one jumps to his demise. And now Maul, then all of a sudden, I thought Maul and Ezra and Kanan and Ahsoka are all on the same side. Then all of a sudden, Maul just turns around and blinds Kanan.
Yeah, of course.
And this was right. I mean, not that it was surprising.
pun intended, blindsided when that happened.
Yeah, well, we know Maul's story. We know what was going to happen, but we were not expecting that he was going to do something that evil and then take out. Oof, man, I mean, it's just I couldn't believe it. With Kanan losing his eyesight, but that's what happens.
And he
Ezra.
somehow got it back through the Force.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, he uses his force sensibilities. So he turns the blade on Kanan. Ezra unleashes the holocron. Knowledge is power. When anyone who has a holocron has the power, and the power is to destroy life, and it's in the hands of the person who wants it. So Ezra has this powerful holocron. He has no idea what he's doing. He is in a position to unleash this power and take out anybody he wants to take out. And Vader is not having any of it. He shows up at this temple. He is ready to get that holocron back. He takes on Ezra and Kanan. They are no match for the Dark Lord. And then Ahsoka arrives. And here we go. All right. So,
By the way, I really hope Vader has lens protection on his helmet because he's just constantly getting his eye lenses cracked by literally everybody in the Star Wars universe.
Talking about the helmet?
Yep.
Yeah, right. And I'll tell you, when I saw this battle with Ahsoka and Vader for the first time, it just felt cinematic, as if I was watching it on the big screen in live action. It just felt like that to me. It was emotional. I felt goosebumps. I was teary eyed. The music was,
You were?
yeah, and the music was beautiful. Good. The music was wonderful, and it's just absolutely spectacular. This battle, and then and Ahsoka is, she's convinced that this cannot be Anakin Skywalker. Anakin would never be this evil. And, and, so she says to Vader, "You're not Anakin Skywalker." And Vader says, "No, you're right. I'm not, because I destroyed Anakin." And then Ahsoka says,
I destroyed Anakin Skywalker a long time ago. Crosshair reveal.
Thank you. All right. And Vader says, "Well, I destroyed Anakin." And then Ahsoka says, "Well, I avenged my master's death." And then Vader says, "Well, revenge is not, becoming of a Jedi." And then that's the line.
The one that everyone uses. I'm no Jedi.
There you go. And then they go at it. And like I said, it was just wonderful.
Ahsoka impression.
It was wonderful. So as they're battling, Kanan and Ezra grab the holocron. They get back out. They get out of the temple, but Ezra sees that this battle is going on. He wants to help Ahsoka, and Ahsoka says no. She pushes him back. She uses a force pushes him back, closes his doors, and it's just the two of them going at it. It's Vader and Ahsoka. And then she comes around. She comes out with this move from behind. Vader didn't see it coming, and she slashed his helmet in half. And then he looks at her, and you can hear the voice of Anakin Skywalker, and he says Ahsoka. And she is just absolutely in shock, and she can't believe it. And then she says, and she's just got a heart for her master. She says, I will not leave you. But then the Vader side of him came back and said, well, then you will die. And then that was it.
Get that James Earl Jones voice, Dad.
I can't do James. No, I can't do it. And then we see the doors close, and we see them walking away at some point. When Ezra and Kanan get on the ghost ship and they're gone, we see Vader stumbling. And by the way, the temple is now exploded and it's collapsed because of the power that was unleashed through the holocron. He's walking out, staggering. We see Ahsoka heading towards a dark cave. So we had no idea what was going on. Like, did she survive, or where is she going? Just a brief glimpse of her. We didn't know what was happening, and that's how season 2 ended. Yeah. It's like, wow, So let's go to Q&A.
She I don't know what happened. Like, first off, I have some gripes with season 4, and how they brought back Ahsoka.
Well, wait a minute. Okay, we're not at season 4 yet. We just finished season 2. Hello, Maria. Thank you so much. Thank you, Marie. Thank you so much for joining us. All right. Well, okay. Can you hold your gripe until we get to season?
I just agreed to hold my gripe.
Well, okay, all right. So gripe. I just, I was surprised to hear this from you. So Eric says she had to grow on a segment of the fandom. Many didn't like her in the Clone Wars movies. That's true. When she started off, she was very young. She was 14 years old,
and
right?
Snippy.
And she was called Snips because she was snippy. She had an attitude. But, what 14, 12, 11-year-olds don't have an attitude, like I don't know anything about that,
Yeah, whose parents just randomly pointed them and act like they have an attitude. I would know. I certainly don't have one of those.
We don't know anything about children with attitudes.
And we don't know anything about parents throwing shade at their kids.
I don't know anything about that either. But
yeah,
anyway,
I have no clue.
So I understand. Yeah, she was not a fan of. She had to grow on the fandom, right? Because they I guess thought that she was just this arrogant little person. We just need to know who she was. She had to grow on us, right? So, and she certainly has. Bam, what's up? Uncle Chris is in the house. All right, Chris Ryan from Boaxium. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. It's hard to believe that she was not liked at the beginning, but now she's. I mean, can you? I don't think there's a single person. We have never ranked our favorite characters, but I would expect that she would be a top 10, one of our favorite Star Wars characters. Do you think? Do you agree? Yeah. So hang in there. Okay. All right.
10:30 our time.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not.
Yes, it is. It is now.
Okay. So yeah. So it's wonderful that she's come this far, and she has done so much for a person her young age. Can you imagine what she has gone through? Going through wars and battles and Clone Force, not Clone Force, the Clone Wars and Order 66.
Sounds like home life to me.
Yeah, and I mean, like she doesn't get a chance to rest.
I don't either.
This is nothing like home life. I'm telling you, no.
Everything like home life.
Not at all.
Constant wars, being thrown into things.
Yeah, right. You got Inquisitors coming after you.
Losing your lightsabers.
You lost your master to the dark side, and now the master's coming after you. I don't think that you can't compare your life to Ahsoka.
Well, I mean, you were on the dark side.
Oh, I'm Darth Vader.
Yep, you're Darth Vader right now.
I forgot. All right. Okay. All right. So we're going to stop there. When we pick this up, I want to start our conversation about the world between worlds. All right.
And how many plot holes that brings?
Well, look. All right. We'll save it for the next episode. I don't know. This is the first time I've heard that you had gripes. What the gripes is about exactly, without going into too much detail.
Between worlds.
You have a gripe about. Okay, well.
Ahsoka in the world between worlds.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's a coincidence. That's what we're going to talk about next, right? So we're going to actually start with talking about the ones. All right, and who are they? What are you doing, Keith? The ones. All right. They are the father, the
daughter,
son,
and the son.
Yes. Okay. They are force welders. They're force sensitive.
We've been wanting to do this episode months in the making.
This was actually your idea too, so it is appropriate because.
And then Mom came up with it.
Yeah,
Mom was like telling us, "You need to do an episode about the father, the daughter, and the son."
Is that how Mommy talks?
No.
In desperation.
Stop. I just don't really have any other voices.
No,
unless you prefer me to pull out the Mr. Beast voice, like.
No.
My mother was the one who told us.
We don't need to promote Mr. Beast.
She said we would give us $10,000.
It looks like we are anyway.
Mr. Beast.
Okay. It's 10:30 our time. What is it? 10:30. Okay, yeah. All right. Did you two like the Flash travel through time? And no.
No, we're not as awful as that movie.
Oh, no, he's not talking about the movie. He's talking about us as the Flash traveling through time.
Which one?
Alex, don't even mention the word Flash. Whenever you mention the word Flash,
the word Flash better be preceded by CW.
To a place where he doesn't want to be.
The word Flash needs to be preceded by CW.
So, right. So now going back to talking about the father, the daughter, and the son, we are going to discuss that 3-part episode in Clone Wars. So I have them written down, I believe. Yes. So in season 3, episodes 15, 16, and 17. And so if you ever wanted to, if you're interested in going back and looking at those episodes before we discuss them, I think it'll be a great help to talk about them. So again, the next time we are talking about Ahsoka, our continuing conversation about Ahsoka, we're going to talk about um, the father, the daughter, the son from season 3 of the Clone Wars, episode 15, 16, and 17. All right. So that'll be next time. Okay. All right. So the next couple of weeks is going to be a little nutty for us.
Busy,
Because,
busy,
we're gonna,
busy.
so we are very fortunate we're gonna be away for a couple of weeks. We're going to 2, not 1, but 2 fan expos. All right. So
In
next
3
weekend,
days.
so next weekend will
I
be,
will not sleep.
I hope you will, because you're going to need your sleep. All right. So next weekend, we are going to be in Boston. All right. That is from August the 4th to the 6th. We will be on the creator stage live on Saturday, August the 5th at 3 p.m. It is not televised, unfortunately, but it will be recorded. And once we have the video, we will play it on our channel so that everyone can see. And then the weekend after that, all right, August the 12th, we'll be in Chicago, Fan Expo Chicago, right? And that is taking place from August the 10th to the 13th. We'll be on the podcast creator stage there as well on August the 12th, 3 p.m. All right, Chicago time. And once again, we won't.
4 p.m. our time.
Right. So we in Eastern time, if you're on the East Coast, right? So we won't have those videos. We'll get them when they're ready. We'll put them up on their website for everyone to see and to comment on it. But that's what we're looking forward to. Can't wait for that. Yeah. All right. So, and then we also have Thrawn. We're going to be talking about Thrawn. Thrawn is coming up.
We're going to be covering Thrawn
Yep.
and other characters in the series.
Yes.
Up until the Ahsoka show comes out.
Yes. Right. There's so much we can talk about Ahsoka, so we're not going to run out of any type of material or anything like that. All right. We'll talk about some other characters as well that applies to Ahsoka and the storyline. We want to thank our patrons. Chris, thank you so much, Baraxium, and John for our patroness. If you already know that we're on the race to 1,000 subscribers, so we're getting close. We have new episodes coming soon of Storytime with Maceo. We have a Lego build that we put together.
You already taped it. It's right there.
We already have it recorded. We're just going to have to just have it ready and loaded. Listen to the Redemption of Jar Jar Binks. This is created by the people at TED Talks. It is hosted by Dylan Marin. It's a 6-part series. It's very good. He actually sits down and has a conversation with Ahmed Best, and he talks frankly about what he went through more than 20 years ago after playing Jar Jar Binks in The Phantom Menace. So please listen out for that. That was really, really, really fantastic. All right. And we are on StarWars.com. You could check out our story there at StarWars.com. We were very fortunate to be interviewed by Clayton Sandell. Did we miss anything? Okay. Any final Q&A? Let's see. All right. So once again, everybody. So like I said, it's best. We want to do some live streams throughout the next 2 weeks, even though we're going to be away. We don't know exactly what we're going to do yet. We don't have anything planned, but just, continue to keep that notification bell on to let you know what we're doing, and we'll try to keep you updated as best as possible. But we are looking forward to this upcoming weekend, these next 2 weeks. So it's going to be a blast. It's going to be fun. All right. So thank you, everyone. Where can people find us?
You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, our socials, our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Bothersome Galaxy, website, bothersomegalaxy.com. Our Patreon page is patreon.com/bothersomegalaxy. Please donate. We've had QR codes up the entire episode. We've also been featured on StarWars.com. Check that out, too.
All right.
And our merch shop, bothersomegalaxy.myspreadshop.com.
Excellent. All right. I think that is it then.
I feel like I said that already.
Okay. All right. So wonderful. So this was great. All right. The world between worlds. Are you more excited for Chicago or Boston?
Neither.
You mean you were excited for both?
I'm excited for both
equally.
equally.
Wow, you know what?
That sounded very pessimistic.
I can't, something about Chicago. I've never been to Chicago. Like I said, I've been to Boston once, but it was a long time ago. So really, they're both
Chicago's
a,
thrill.
a mystery to me. But Chicago is just this big happening town. I don't know. I think it's going to be hustle and bustle. Boston might be a little more reserved from, I don't know.
Doesn't Boston have the housing market of New York City?
What does that mean?
Not cheap.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, neither is Chicago. Chicago is very expensive, so it doesn't matter. But yeah. Well, to answer your question, Alice, I'm looking forward to both. It's going to be
Lit.
wonderful. It's going to be lit. All right, as the young as the young person says, the one with the snips, the attitude.
Gen Z.
They don't have attitudes, right? Okay, all right. So this is fun. Thank you so much, everyone. So, all right, stay with us for the next 2 weeks, all right? And we'll keep you updated. So until then, take care. And we will.